Yeah, so thanks for the introduction, Matthew. So like you said, I'm Brett Eifert from Oak Ridge National Lab, and I'm going to talk about the state of heterogeneous computing in Rust. Hold on, there's crazy stuff floating in my way. Okay. So my motivation for this talk, so I guess as a little bit of background is that I actually learned Rust for the purpose of exploring it for high performance computing, which is I would say unique, right? Because there's little to no native support for um, HP or GPUs and Rust. But so I learned Rust 2 years ago, and I've watched it um, progress over the last 2 years and improve dramatically over the last 2 years. Um, I'm interested in offloading to the two main architectures, NVIDIA and AMD, and also Apple Silicon. And my group in general is looking at performance portability and already has, of Python, Julia, and Mojo. And then I am doing Rust as why I'm here today. This talk does not present unique research. It's just a survey and review of methods that I've looked at to offload Rust to GPUs. I'm here to inform the Rust scientific community, so I hope people get something out of this. And I will, and I am doing research on this topic now. It's just not ready. And eventually, using some of these methods, I will publish research. For this use case, I'm interested in writing custom compute kernels versus using pre-built libraries. So raw CUDA kernels versus, calling cuBLAS or something. Hopefully I can go to the next slide. Okay. Um, so these four GPU methods were evaluated. Hopefully you recognize some of them. So initially, and this is kind of how I progressed as I was looking into it over the last 2 years. I started out with the Rust FFI, just calling C CUDA functions directly from the FFI. Then I progressed to CUDA RC, which is a wrapper of CUDA and NVIDIA libraries. Still C underneath, C and a CUDA underneath, but I guess more than the FFI. CUDA Oxide, which I've, CUDA Oxide and kubectl I've kind of been looking at the same time, but I'll talk about each of them. Um, CUDA Oxide, which was just released a couple months ago, where you're actually compiling a new Rust compiler that's compiling Rust directly to PTX for CUDA. And then kubectl, actually, the one of the makers of this presented last year as a keynote at this workshop, and that is actually portable to multiple vendors like AMD, NVIDIA, etc. Um, for my examples, it's all going to be in NVIDIA, a single GPU. I'm going to show a vector add of each method, and I'm nice. I'm nice to every framework that I talk about, but I will have some opinions. So the so I'm actually going to score each of these frameworks on a scale of 1 to 5. Performance, portability, productivity, and safety. Um, you could read that, but I think these kind of speak for himself. And yes. Okay, so starting out with the Rust FFI, just calling raw C and CUDA. On the right, you see how the code looks. So I rated the performance there 5 out of 5. I think if you're just calling CUDA from Rust, you're going to get the native performance that you want. Portability, I gave it a 2. Maybe you should have given it a 1. CUDA and HIP are similar enough where, the rewrite's not very big, or you can easily, just translate it. So I gave it a 2 out of 5, but really, you're still just writing the kernels directly. So not much portability there. Productivity, absolutely not. It's a 1 out of 5. Um, you're managing three different languages and multiple build systems. Very hard, very buggy. And safety, I'm just calling C from the FFI, so absolutely no safety. That rest is enforced. You're pretty much just you're going to a different language, right? So moving on to CUDA RC, again, performance is good. Um, you can see, I guess, let me go back a little bit. You can see the code on the right is a little messy. You can see two different languages on the right of the REST SFI, REST FFI. CUDA RC, it's all in, it's all, at least you write Rust. It's still a little messy. Very strange how you write a kernel in, sorry, CUDA RC, how you write a kernel in CUDA RC, as you can see on that first line, the let PTX line. But yeah, anyway, the performance is good because you're just wrapping C and CUDA libraries. Um, and it's good because you can call CUDA libraries like cuBLAS from it directly, which is awesome, probably its strongest point. Um, moving on to portability, it's CUDA only, so not much portability there. Um, productivity, 3 out of 5. It's nice because there's abstractions where you don't have to manage memory in different languages, and also just an abstraction in general. So you don't have to write raw C, right? Or yeah, C and CUDA. And like I said before, a little bit awkward custom kernel writing, but maybe um, the the strength of it is likely calling CUDA libraries like cuBLAS and not necessarily writing kernels. And there is some safety just by the abstraction, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5 on safety. Moving on, CUDA Oxide, kind of the exciting one that was released 2 months ago. So you can see the code looks a little bit cleaner, all in Rust. Um, a little bit more um, abstracted. Looks pretty clean, at least clean enough, clean for a kernel, right? Not kernels aren't that clean. Performance, again, really good. CUDA native performance. Portability, low again. CUDA only. Productivity, I'm giving it a 5. Maybe I'm a little biased, but it's closest to writing CUDA kernels. Maybe even better than writing CUDA kernels, just how it works. But maybe I won't say that, but just as good. And safety, Um, with this, with CUDA Oxide, like I mentioned before, CUDA Oxide has a Rust specific GPU compiler, or CUDA specific Rust compiler. So there is some safety embedded in the compilation. Not perfect for sure. Um, and again, these scores are subjective, but I gave the safety pretty good. I don't think I could ever give safety 5 out of 5 on on all these things just because it's not fully integrated yet. And then lastly, kubectl. Um, Also, code on the right looks fairly clean. Performance is good. There's a little bit. It's almost native performance or is native performance. It wasn't quite as good as CUDA Oxide, so I gave it a 4 to 5 in performance. There is the way the compiler works. I won't get into it. There's some abstractions that I think can hurt it. It lacks some optimizations that the the native CUDA compiler does, and also the um, CUDA Oxide compiler. Portability, though, finally, a good portable GPU um, uh, framework. You can target a whole bunch of different backends. I use it for those four CPU, CUDA, HIP, and Metal, but you can target even more. Like productivity, really good. Just like I said, it's almost like just like I said with CUDA Oxide, it's almost like writing native kernels. And safety, also good by abstraction and also by how the compiler compiles it. I'm not a compiler expert, but I've just from what I know about the compiler, there is safety kind of embedded in there. Again, not perfect because we're still going to the GPU. So here's the total scores. Um, got pop-ups everywhere. Sorry, guys. Um, here's the total scores. I'm kind of glad how they worked out. I think CUDA Oxide and kubectl are the ones I use the most and are my favorite. I use them interchangeably. I don't. I'm not going to pick one or the other, but these are the best for my use case. I'm glad none of them hit a 5 out of 5, or because that just wouldn't be true. And I'm glad honestly that the highest one kubectl is 1 full point off of perfect, which I think is leaves a lot of room to improvement and is fair, right? Um, yeah. And then lastly, yeah, so like I said, two leading frameworks, in my opinion, and I think hopefully most people's opinion, are CUDA Oxide and kubectl. CUDA Oxide is really good at native GPU programming, I guess as native as you can get, and kubectl is really good at performance portability across vendors. Both of these frameworks used heavy compiler work, so I'm really impressed, and they did awesome work. So no, no, maybe you can already tell which one's my favorite, but I'm trying not to play favorites. Both are great. Um, yeah, so Rust safety was preserved in these GPU methods. I think that's the main concern is that, okay, Rust is, one of the pillars of Rust is safety, but when you go to GPUs, you're losing that safety. I think some is preserved, but there's still much more to be done. And I think for Rust to really do that extra step, safety needs to be even better in the GPU and heterogeneous environment. It's just this is not an easy problem to solve, right? I'm up here just talking, complaining. I'm not, hopefully not complaining, but poking holes and everything. But yeah, this is a very difficult problem, and I'm glad everyone's working on it. Um, Overall, the Rust and HPC ecosystem is still young. Um, Multi-threaded CPU, memory sharing, communication between nodes, and GPU libraries all have gaps in capability. There's so much more that um, we can do. And yeah, I guess what's next? Who's going to develop the next thing? Who's going to contribute to the libraries to make them even better, or what? But yeah, thanks guys for listening, and I'm happy to listen to any questions now or later.